All right, welcome into Market Day Report. I'm Scott Schultz, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for joining us here today on a Monday. Getting started, we were a little bit better off earlier this morning when we did the radio show. Things have kind of melted down around us a little bit. Let's take a look and see what's happening right now as we speak. Let's bring you corn. That corn board's lower. It's where it was the last time we talked. 6 3/4 cents lower in that SEP to 4.72 3/4, just one tick off the lows. D's down 6.5 cents to 4.86.5, and that's now one tick off the lows there too. So I guess the next stop we have to worry about in D so is be 481 if you're looking down, or maybe making a run over $5 if we wanted to see it go higher. So that board is definitely weak, and it's lost its if it had any gains. Look at that. We were 10 cents higher overnight, 506 1/4 in D. So there you go, well above that $5 level. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on in beans. 5.5 cents higher. That's a good board, right? But we've been a lot higher. 13.68 1/4 is last. And that's almost, that's about 18 cents off the highs, right? Well, we're 3 cents off the lows. That'll give you an idea about that board. No beans, that's the new crop, 6 1/4 cents higher there. 13.59.5 is last, and that's 2 cents off the lows. And again, that's, we're well off the highs. So beans just settling in here, right? Kind of bleeding away. But that's what we've got going on in corn and beans. Let's see about wheat. That too's lower, 11.5 cents lower in the SEP to 601 3/4, trying to hang on to that 6 handle. We're 6 cents off the lows of 5.95 3/4. Dees is down 10 3/4 cents to 6.28 1/4. And again, we've had a decent 24 cent range over there, and we're about the 6 cents away from the lows of that range. So that'll give you an idea about what's been happening in Chicago wheat. Let's go from Chicago to Kansas City. That's 14.5 cents lower in that SEP contract to 7.39 even, and that too is about 4.5 cents off the lows. Dees is down 14 1/4 cents to 7.46.5. That'll give you an idea. There you go. Spring wheat. Let's go to Minneapolis. That too is also double digits lower by 14 cents actually in SEP. 7.88 3/4 is last. 3 ticks off of the lows, folks. And we've had about a 14 cent range over there. Dees down 13 1/4 cents to 804.5. A half cent off the lows of a 16 cent range. There you go. All right. Let's take a look at cotton, and we're going to get to our next guest analyst. That's up 17 points in cotton. 83.79 is last. 6 points off the low. Well off the highs, but we're still higher by 17 points. I guess we should celebrate that. Let's bring in our guest analyst joining us from Chicago today. That's Todd Bubba Horowitz. Todd, thanks for being on. All right. I mean, we've just sat here and kind of eroded. I mean, what are your thoughts? We've got crop tours going on. We've got any type of news that could come out, but the market's kind of immune.
It is very ugly out there. Anytime you see a big up opening in the pre-market or overnight, and then you see it fail and actually go down the lows, is not a healthy market. And this is the real problem here. As much as I want to believe they can go higher, every time I think there's some hope, they continue to get smacked. And you get 20 cent ranges, and the 20 cent ranges are all from way up higher to now on their lows from wheat, beans, and corn. I mean, the picture is not real pretty right now, and this is, a lot has to do with the banking system, with what's going on in the economy. But at the end of the day, nobody cares. The farmers need to make their money so they can continue to prosper and make a living. And that's not a very good possibility right now.
Yeah, we've got the crop tours out there. And I would have thought, I was just thinking about it over the weekend, that maybe things would be a little bit more touchy to the upside because any negative news coming out at the same time, we've got that heat dome sneaking in, albeit, yes, I know it's August. And yes, I know it's not going to be forever, but I still would have thought it would have been generating some sort of bullish news. It just seems to kind of landed with a wet thud.
It's, it's the old story, Scott. Good news pushes the markets for 5 minutes and then they break, and bad news, they just get crushed. Yeah. And this is kind of what we're watching right now.
All right, stay right there. We need to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Todd Horowitz. He's with Bubba Trading. We're going to talk livestock when we come back after this. All right, welcome back. This is, I was going to say Commodity Wrap Kickoff. It's not. It's like Market Day Report. Too many things going on in my small brain. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on in this big market, though. Let's start with, we don't want to do cotton, do we? We want to go to live cattle. Boy, oh boy. Let's see what that's happening. We said we were going to talk about livestock, and I'm going to live up to that. We've got Todd Horowitz coming on after we go through these prices. Live cattle in Chicago, that October board's up $1.05. 105, not bad. That's October. 179.87 is last. That's kind of in the middle of the range, though. Look at the range, $1.20. So even though we're $1.05 higher, we've had a small range. this market's acting a little bit strong, but we'll take it, right? Deese is up $1.02 to 184.20. That is live cattle. If we move over to the feeders, they're up what? Well, let's see. Let's go to September. Up $2.15. We like that. 250 spot 67. Todd Horowitz just off air. I wondered if that cattle on feed report was bullish. We'll talk to him about that in a second. It definitely doesn't look like it was bearish, though, I guess we could say, right, Todd? $2.07 lower there to 252.65 in that October feeder cattle board. Finally, let's get to lean hogs, and then we're going to get back to our guest. Lean hogs, that's lower by about $1.05, and that's October. 81.07 is last. Let's bring back in Todd Horowitz. Todd, I guess I'll answer the negative. It doesn't look like it was bad, right? So, I mean, it looks as though we're still slaughtering the baby factories, and that's one of the problems, I think. And it looks as though we might be pushing off that replacement of the herd for a while, and the market's taking that as something that's kind of strong.
It looks that way. I mean, there's not a lot of real action here, Scott. I mean, we're drifting higher, which is more typical for equities than it is for livestock. But I think that we'll see as the economy worsens, and I can't see it getting any better from this point on. I know we have the Jackson Hole this week, but I don't see the economy improving, and I think it's going to start to weigh on the sale of beef, and it might help hogs, it might help poultry, but I don't see these prices holding up here. We've been up here once before that I can remember, and it was about 10 years ago that we're at these all-time highs. I don't see them holding here, and I would think there'd be more of a chance they go lower. Now, they can still drift higher, but I think any real big movement will be to the downside, not to the upside.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time, and everybody wants to know. I mean, if you're a rancher, you want to make sure that you're capturing these prices in some manner, with maybe puts or the likes. But it looks as though that you're right. It might be the thing that really stalls this rally out. Might be something from the outside, not actually the fundamentals on the inside, because they still look pretty strong.
100%. And we know the banks, we talked about it Friday, the banks are weak, even though they tell us how good they are. But we've seen the running to the emergency window and getting more money. And we're seeing a lot of things that just don't add up, Scott.
I agree. All right, brother. Thanks for being on. That's Todd Horowitz. He's with Bubba Trading in Chicago this time. We're going to bring it back to Nashville. I can say good morning to you.